Coucou les puces, hello my loves, Marhaba habibetey. So, I've been wanting to film like a chit chatty video. I also need to get ready to film a haul video. So I thought let's do two birds, one stone and do a get ready with me while we talk about some stuff that I've wanted to talk about with you guys. So let's get into it. I'm going to prime my face with my normal baby skin primer, which I'm almost out of, but I have some backups, so don't worry about that. I'm very tired today, and that is kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's a bit of a mental health chat that I wanted to have. So I want to start out by asking how you all are doing. How's everyone's mental health these days? Without the expectation that anyone's doing fantastically well. I don't think anyone's doing fantastically well, but just how are you guys doing? Are you taking the time for self-care and love and finding your balance? And what are you doing to find that balance and to find that peace, which now more than ever is completely essential. So that's kind of where I want to start, is the check-in. Like, let's have a roll call. Everyone down below, let us know how you're doing and what you're doing. And yeah, all that good stuff. So I'm okay. It's strange, I guess, in that I feel better than I did at the beginning. Like, definitely at the beginning of the whole quarantine lockdown, kind of WHO labeling this whole virus as a pandemic, I was a lot more stressed out and nervous and sad, and the intensity of the negative emotions was a lot louder than it is now. So I went through that as like an initial stage. I'm gonna keep going. Hold on, let's cut this very important thought in half as I keep going, because otherwise this video is gonna be 500 hours long. I ran out of my Clit de Peau Radiant Cream Foundation, the really expensive one that I told you I should not buy. I've bought a whole bunch more. I can't find, nobody has it in my shade locally. Nordstrom doesn't have it in my shade. The Clit de Peau Canada website is the only one that had it in my shade. So I ordered 3 tubs. They're on their way. They had a really great gift with purchase promotion, so I'll do a haul when that comes in. Speaking of things that spark joy. But in the meantime, I've been using just this Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done broad spectrum SPF. I think SPF. I think it's more like a BB cream, but it's been just fine, and I don't really need any more than that currently. It's not my Clit de Peau, but it will do. Anyways, so yeah, the intensity of the negative emotions was a lot more intense. I said intense twice. At the beginning, at this juncture though, I'm very tired. I've got burnout, and I 100% realize that burnout is a luxury, and I appreciate that. But it's just a very odd sensation. Like with my running, for example, I needed to get out for every single one of my runs from June until the end of July. Like, I needed it. I couldn't go to sleep. It was something like that was essential to me as getting a meal in or water. And then in August, it's become something that feels like a chore, and it's exhausting, and that is odd. But as I reflect on it, and I've been talking to my coach Heather, who I've talked about before, but I'll link her channel down below. And as I've been talking to friends and family about it as well, I think just what happened in August is I got tired. Like, all of the physical and the emotional that I've been working with and on through these last few months has finally come to a head. I mean, very starkly and very intensely at the beginning of August on the 4th, when the bombing happened in Beirut, which, if you don't know anything about that, there was an explosion at the port in Beirut. I guess some very explosive material had been being stored in the port, and it was hit, and it caused the most intensive, it's the 3rd largest explosion in human history. So while I'm so grateful that my family and friends that are down there were not injured, they were all impacted by having significant property damage, and we're still trying to figure out what the health effects of this on them are, and it was a stressful week. I will tell you, I felt like I was hit by a semi-truck, and it took me a minute to feel okay again after it. So I'm 100% sure that has definitely been one of the main things, is like dealing with everything COVID related. There was almost like a sense of balance that had reinserted itself in my life. And if you asked me, I would tell you that I was doing well. Like, not saying that to disrespect the human impact of the virus, or the economic impact, or the trauma and stress that my friends and even myself was feeling, but I felt good. Like, I felt not great, but good. Grateful for the things that I was lucky enough to experience and have in my life, like access to pathways that were safe to go running in, and a safe home, and warm meals, and things like that. And just the gratitude to be able to take advantage of this moment in time where we could really be reflecting on what's important, to be really connecting with the people in our lives in a different way, and all that jazz. So I stopped feeling good for a while there at the beginning of August, as I was sifting through the trauma of what happened in Beirut. So I did attempt to film a whole video about that, but I kept getting really, really emotional, and I had to stop. So if any of you are interested in helping with the huge humanitarian crisis that has come out as a result of that, like doctors and nurses and essential care services are still working hard to fight the pandemic and the virus. But added to that is the fact that now the port, which is one of the main ways in which essential PPE comes into the country, with that being impacted because of the blast, and with so many now being homeless, after the impact, and even to this day, kind of there's a split amount of, there's only so many resources, only so many doctors and nurses and hospitals, and now you're trying to treat COVID patients, people that are dying from the impact of this blast as well. So if you are interested in helping with any of those efforts, there's a few organizations that have been doing really great work, and I will link those down below. And yeah, I was gonna film a whole other video on it, and I couldn't do it without getting too emotional. So I'm just gonna like touch on it here and keep going. We go from that to highlighter, because you know, that's how we do it around here. I'm gonna use this NARS Banc de Sable highlighter palette. I think was a limited edition from a few years back. I like it very, very much though. Anyways, so yeah, we've been dragging a little bit this month. In my runs, in just my energy levels, in all of it. And so I've just been having to remind myself to give myself some grace. I think it's been very easy for me to feel like I'm slipping up. Like I was doing so well and pushing ahead and being happy and all of these things, and now I feel like I'm failing because I'm not feeling spectacular, because I'm not checking all my boxes in like my water intake and my video upload schedule and all of that jazz. So learning to be gracious with myself is something that I've had to remind myself very much this month, to try to move myself towards a more balanced and happy and positive headspace. So it's a process. It's a process. If you have any tips on how you do that for yourself, please share those down below. Because it's hard. We're harder on ourselves a lot of the time than we are on anybody else. And I don't know, at least for myself, I will not be mean, but I won't give myself as much grace as I give somebody else that I love. And so the reminder, like sitting here to film today, is a reminder for myself as much as anything else. And hopefully a reminder to anybody else sitting out there that needed to hear that today. You know, I think I told you what I put on my cheeks. That was MAC's Burnt Pepper Blush. For my eyes, I'm gonna film a haul here when I'm done with this, and I will upload it hopefully on Wednesday. But I bought these liquid eyeshadows from Stila because I've really been loving my ones from Too Faced that I can't seem to track down anywhere else. And so I thought I would give these guys a shot. I've swatched them. I haven't worn them. I've swatched them. I think I like the Stila ones better. Or sorry, the Too Faced ones better. Now, granted, the two of the three, and the reason I really like the Too Faced ones is because they are super shiny and glittery and awesome. So, I mean, it's not a fully a fair comparison, but I like the ease of these. I feel like in the mornings, it's a lot easier for me to actually put eyeshadow on if it's easy to use. So, this is a color. Did not realize it was gonna be that green. This is in Enchanted Earth. Okay, I'm gonna need a brush to kind of blend this out and see how it goes. So yeah, on the self-care bucket list and the things that I've been doing that have been helpful, there's been a lot of days that have called for a run, not a lot, like a couple that have called for a run, and instead of just powering through and doing it, which is what I would have been doing previously, I'll swap it for some yoga. So at least I get some movement in my day, which is so essential just to overall physical and emotional health. But it's a little gentler on my body, you know? Or I will spend some time outside. Like, the weather's still been really lovely around here, and even just getting out to get some fresh air in the evening is great and useful. And that's about the extent of where I've gotten with figuring out my balance. I always feel like when I get on here, I need to have all the answers, and I definitely don't. I am a work in progress and trying to remind myself as much, and appreciative for you all for being here and being a source of inspiration and self-love, in as much that like you will also offer me that time to sit here and do something for myself that's happy and upbeat and I don't know, just all of those good things. Okay, this was a little greener than I expected, but it's fine. I'm gonna put my MAC Pressed Pigment and Deeply Dashing on top of it. And I think I'm gonna use a brush because I'm gonna forget that I used my fingers, and then I'm gonna have green stuff all over my fingers, and then it's gonna end up everywhere. I foresee that's how it's gonna happen. This green Stila shadow is giving me like full-on Elphaba from Wicked vibes. Which, speaking of that, I miss the theater. I really do. It's crazy. I mean, for those of you that have been here for a while, you know how much I love the theater. I had a whole series called And Then the Magic Happened, where I talked about all the awesome theater that I experienced, mainly in the UK when I lived in London. But yeah, I miss it, and one day we will be back. Talking to Laura, we were talking to Laura after bar class on Friday from Laura Runs and Eats. I will link her channel down below, but she was talking about how she thinks that when Broadway comes back, it'll be a much more affordable Broadway, and how exciting that is because of how much more accessible that'll make it to so many, which is awesome because great theater should be experienced by all as often as possible. Okay, I'm gonna go and put on mascara, which I will inevitably, if I don't stop filming, I will try to film and do at the same time, and that's always been a recipe for disaster. So I'm gonna go put on some mascara and some lipstick, and I will be back. Alrighty, what did I put on my lips? I'm not sure. I'm also not sure how I feel about this eyeshadow. I put the Rihanna Fenty lip gloss on, but I don't know. I'll figure out what I put on my lips and link it down below. So yeah, in a very disjointed manner, I just kind of wanted to check in and see how everyone's doing. see how everyone's coping, to give you guys a bit of an update on how I'm doing, and all that good stuff. I am fading fast, so I may not film. I also don't know that I love this eyeshadow. So I may not film my haul today, but I do have a couple goodies that I picked up from Sephora. You guys, I haven't gone to Sephora to buy makeup in like well over a year. It was crazy. So yeah, I picked up a couple things. I will get that video up this coming week, but I just might film it another day when I've got a little bit more energy and some pep in my step to do that. So anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. And I hope you've left some great comments below that we can all benefit from. Let me do 3 quick points of positivity, and then I will be gone for the day. My first point of positivity is getting to sit here with you guys. The second one is getting to sleep in a little bit this morning and catching up on some well-needed rest. And the third is a really great long run that I had, just some solo time, me, myself, with some decent weather and a good audiobook, which I will give you one guess as to what I'm still listening to. Well, it's not that hard. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. But no, and I will leave though, not without reminding you that life is just way too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye guys.